Who is that?
Channing.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, you know, Channing been waiting for this now, Prime.
I hope so.
He been waiting for this now.
You don't understand. You can't back me into the corner because they know I'm swinging. I got stats and everything.
Nah, he ready to back you into it now.
I sure hope he does. One thing that don't lie.
How's your health, brother? How you feeling?
I'm getting there. You see what I got on, right?
That's why I was asking how your health was.
Yeah, I'm getting there. See?
Prime, what did they have to?
I had blood clots.
Okay.
And they amputated, But I work with it.
Man.
Yeah, I'm amputated. So I get that work on a couple times a day, keep the blood circulating, blood flowing, but it's a new normal. And the best thing about here, we have a whole medical team on the second floor.
Right.
We have a whole medical floor, which is great. They do the MRIs, like anything happens, we got a whole floor dedicated to that, which is great.
The thing I loved about it though, you were honest.
Yeah, I don't play about that. I just had 5 and 6 of them by grades.
That's
I said,
real though.
think, when I get a report and they're in the red, I bring them right in.
Right.
So we ain't gonna do this.
Right.
This is not gonna happen here.
Right.
When you got most of your, see, it ain't like when we went to school, most of their class online.
Mm-hmm.
How you flunking something you get to do at home?
Go to academic center.
Right.
I'm sitting right
They do,
next to
we
you.
got it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's right here.
Yeah.
And you still flunking? You don't care.
That's
if
what
you
it
don't
comes
care,
down
why
to.
should I?
Yep.
You can't play for us.
Right. Right.
Because if you don't want it for yourself, you surely ain't gonna want it for me. Because you gotta understand, this leads you to that.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta get this just to be eligible to get that.
Right.
And if you don't want it, that's a problem.
Right.
That's a true problem.
Coach, how much did you weigh when you played?
In pros, anywhere from 185 to my heaviest was 205.
When you looking at recruits, just trying to get the high school kids, size-wise, is that something you pay attention to?
We stereotype everything.
Okay.
I just got in trouble for being honest about stereotypes. But it's the truth. Like if you go on a job interview, what they have? You ask you questions about the job, you get requirements. I do too. Everybody does, nobody just talks about it. I have the same ones. And if you look over the history of our game and you look at the quarterbacks, look at the linemen, look at the defensive linemen, look at the back. Like I love backs that played linebacker as well. Because y'all see it different and y'all physical.
Yep.
I love receivers that played DB because they got a whole different physicality to them. I love DBs that played basketball, baseball.
Skill.
See, all that stuff, we're dead serious about it.
Right.
Because it goes further.
Everybody can't do it at the professional level like you did both. But if you ever watched a center fielder track a ball and you think he's not going to be able to track a football down the field.
That's right.
So all those things.
They matter.
They
matter to me.
Yeah.
They matter a lot to me. Because when I'm sitting right there with those 3 chairs on the other side, that's the closing. So I'm sitting down with kids, parents, all that, and we sitting right there with the position coach, and I'm in the middle, and we trying to close. So I got to ask these type of questions because I'm interviewing you as you're interviewing us. Because I had one kid, I'm not gonna say the state, he was all about him. What I gotta do to be the man? I said, this ain't the school for that.
Yeah.
By the time he walked out, I said, take him off the board.
Wow.
Because it was too much I. I'm saying, well, no, we're a we team, my brother.
Yeah.
And that position, that's what that position is. So you know what position
Yeah, I
it
got
was.
you, right.
The position is always with the eyes.
Every time.
The farthest away from the ball, right?
Yes, sir.
And they want the ball the most.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, man, we appreciate you just taking the time to do this,
I'm
Coach
glad
Prime.
we made the time.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Channing been waiting on this
I've
for
been waiting on this
a
too.
very long time. He said he knew at some point
Prime.
he'd be at a PWI having this conversation with Coach Prime.
That means he believed in me. That's what that believes. That don't believe, that ain't no disbelief. That means that he believed in me.
I believed in you, and I believed that you were at a place that didn't have the resources like we talked about to keep you.
It wasn't just the resources though. It was the ideology, the thought process, the forward thinking.
Yeah.
It was meeting me at the crossroad. That's what was involved in that.
Mm-hmm.
And sooner or later, you got to really look in the mirror and say, are they gonna get there?
Yeah.
Do they even want to get there? And I had to ask those questions and really be honest with them, with me and with myself as well as my staff. The Bible says that right in that staff, they comfort me.
Wow.
They can't be confident making 60,000 for the rest of their life. But 70, not that's bad. Anybody that's making 50 and 60, I apologize. I'm not meaning to demean you. But at a college football coach, that's not good. And we got to do better than that.
I'm sure they want to pay $300, $400, $1 million. I'm sure they want to, but they can't. And that was my point. Last time we talked, I had a lot of pushback, because I said that, and I was just being honest. I went to Florida, and I know what Florida is. We talked about stone crab and steak every night.
That's right.
And you were saying, no, we don't need to eat that every night. But if it's there, why would a kid want that?
We really don't need to eat it every night. But what you're saying, you want it as an option.
Yes.
Right.
I don't mind it as an option.
Yeah.
But we don't need to eat it every night. But I understand where you was coming from. You was absolutely correct in some form or fashion about it. But it wasn't about finances. I ain't never appeared to you as broke or hurting or none of that. So it was never about that. I didn't go to Jackson for money. I didn't leave Jackson for money. I wasn't at Jackson for money. I was at because it was a calling. But it seems hilarious to me that someone could believe that God could call me collect to come, but he couldn't call me collect to go.
Right.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem with us men. Sometimes we outstay our time at certain places and certain things because we want to leave when we want to leave.
Yeah.
Not when we need to leave. Or we want to stay when we want to stay, not when we need to stay. We got to really hear a voice. And I it could be a room full of noise and I can hear his voice. That's where the call came from. Like, honestly, me and Coach Hart, my linebacker coach, been with me for 20 years, coaching youth all the way up. We was in a restaurant. And I said, it's time, dog. He said, what you mean? I said, hold on. And I called Rick, our wonderful AD, Rick George. I said, I'm coming. That's what the whole thing for, we're coming. I said, I'm coming. He said, okay. He thought the phone was gonna be another call.
I mean, that's open to a show for sure.
Hold up, limitless, take a stomach, can't pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Get my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, get me up. On the mission, get me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless, take a stomach, can't pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Get my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, get me up. On the mission, get me up.
Welcome to The Pivot. We have a man that needs no introduction. This is Coach Prime Time, Deion Sanders, a man called by many other names, but most of all called by the Most High. Freddie T, Chan, I'm RC. To all of our subscribers, we appreciate you. To Happy Dad, thank you so much. That just brings me to something you said that I think is so profound, and I want you to get an opportunity to expound on it for people that are listening. You spoke about your calling not being about a location, but a destination. When you speak of that destination, what's that destination for you?
That means my calling is consistently to kids. Just because I'm not at a HBCU or historically black institution, that does not mean I'm still not called to our kids or just kids in general. I'm not called to a certain ethnicity. I'm called to all. So my words, the way I speak, the way I go about doing what I do, the way we went about our jobs, it wasn't just black folks clapping. It wasn't just white folks clapping. It wasn't just Asian or Hispanic folks clapping. It was a multitude of people clapping because the feeling, the stimulation that you gave them. So I've never been called to a single entity. My call has always been much larger than what the eyes would ever see.
Were you surprised by the response? Because it got bad. And everybody loved you your whole life, Prime.
Yeah, but dog, I don't get off by the claps of people, man.
Yeah.
They don't bring me up and don't bring me down. That means I'm giving you my remote control and letting you turn me and click me the way you want to. I ain't never been built like that.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna get up, that means I'm gonna be happy and elated that when you clapping. That means you have the propensity also to bring me down and make me sad and distraught and angered. And I'm not built like that. I've always been me. I've always walked to a different beat. I've always tried to treat people right, look people in the eye and be 100 with them. I've never been any different, and I ain't gonna be. So I don't do it for that.
Yeah.
I do it for that.
Coach, last time we spoke together, you spoke about exposure. You spoke about increasing in student enrollment. You spoke about young men graduating, playing on TV in the HBCU, several other things. And I think you checkboxed the entire list. Is there a sense of gratification and self-fulfillment in that? And then did that help you be able to move forward, not look back with any sense of regret?
Well, I never look back anyway. Everything God gave us is built to go forward. Our eyes, our feet, our ears, our nose, everything goes forward. So I'm a progressive type of person. I'm happy with what we accomplished at Jackson State. I'm happy for the opportunity that was afforded me at Jackson State. I'm happy for the people that assisted me in this journey. I mean, everybody there, especially our AD, you know, Ashley Robinson. I mean, for the leeway that he gave me and for the, pretty much, he just let me do my thing. He allowed me to be me and to do my thing and to bring the multitude and to bring the different companies and different relationships outside of the norm to HBCUs. I'm thoroughly happy with what we accomplished.
And what do you leave behind?
Hope that it can be done. At one point in time, we didn't pay attention, but then we were locked in. At one point in time, we didn't even look back, but now we start looking forward. At one point in time, we didn't even care, but then we start caring. One point in time, we had no draft choices. Now we got them. And this year, I think is going to be even better than last year. The year prior to that, it was not one. So the progress is unbelievable, and that's what I'm about, and that's who I am. I'm a progressive person and progressive thinker.
Coach, I don't mean to say this in this way, but I don't know another way to say it. There's only one you, though.
Thank you.
And you say you leave hope behind, but so many people felt like when Prime Time left, so did that hope. That people, the Under Armours and the ESPN game days, they came to Jackson for Coach Prime.
Right.
And when you think about HBCUs now moving forward, not only just Jackson State, but the entire SWAC, what is it that they can take from kind of the blueprint that you left that's usable without your name?
Let's go on the field first. Number one, you got to have a quarterback that can throw the darn football to win. It's two teams that really were successful. I just say in the SWAC, us and FAMU with Coach Simmons, who was my guy, quarterbacks that can spin it. Because sooner or later you're gonna find yourself down 14 in the MEAC. They had a few that can spin it as well, and they were very successful. Number two, the recruiting now is absurd. What I mean by that is now people are saying, I'll go to HBCU. Ain't nothing wrong with an HBCU. I could do that because now there's a navigational system that leads you from the HBCU realm to the NFL. Once upon a time, it was diverted. It wasn't happening. So it's so many things that we left behind that you can glean from. I really believe that, and I honestly believe that, and I understand the business acronym must change, though. The business model must change. It has to, and there has to be account and balances to that. And I mean that. And I try to check that. I was checking that. And that has to change because we can't keep saying we don't have and poor little old me. We can't keep doing that because we got to make the most of what we have and who we have.
Coach, but you left behind that blueprint, but you don't leave behind Travis Hunters. You don't leave behind some of these kids that Jackson State was making headlines for getting on campus, getting committed to the school, watching those guys play on Saturday. And you're mentioning that going forward, you expect more kids from HBCUs and those schools to get drafted. But when you left, so did they.
Well, the Travis Hunter left. Travis didn't come just for JSU. Travis came with me. And that's a difference. This has happened historically. It happened at Oklahoma. It's USC.
Quarterback,
but we didn't make a big deal out of that. That is what it was, because the kid pretty much is latching on to you, not basically the university. And I'm pretty sure Oklahoma had all the bells and whistles that USC had, but the kid signed up for a particular coach. And ain't nothing wrong with that.
The reason why I think you were so highly criticized by leaving was because, like RC's alluding to, you were the answer. Not an ex-ball player, not a black coach, not an ex-black coach. Deion Sanders was the answer.
To some things. I wasn't the answer to all things.
Chan, how do you...
I like that.
I'm gonna ask you a question as you're asking this question. When you say Deion Sanders was the answer, how much of that is opening press conference saying, okay, we are family, saying that he was sent to do certain things? Do you feel like people got attached to that, or it just was the fact that prime time is at Jackson State?
It's prime time. If my son plays cornerback, I want him to be around, in my opinion, the best cornerback ever to touch the field.
That's right.
If my son played DN, I'd have to talk to you and tell me who's coaching the DNs.
That's
but
right.
I was sending my son to
That
play
greatness.
for Prime, the greatness of Prime.
Right.
To your point, I'm saying if you had to write a blueprint without Deion for an HBCU, that's what people want the answer to. Because now, Prime, with NILs, with all this stuff coming up, you talking about recruiting, it's just there's no written thing without prime time with this work.
Even here, you have a problem with that competing against some of the
blue bloods.
The majors, the bags.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't have the propensity to go and give every lineman $50,000 in what they call it. I'm sorry.
Collective.
Hey, thank you, sir. The collectives, which ain't really a collective. It's just a way to collecting money and they give it to the kids. Okay, that's what they do. And oftentimes that's not the answer. It's a couple schools really got their butts kicked and got a headache doing that because that disrupts the structure and the continuity in your whole team if it does not work. Now, if you're paying a kid a meal out of high school and he's not that guy, so that walk-on that's serving him every day for free, what do you think that's gonna do to your locker room? So you really got to be careful in doing this, and then it's a fine line for this. We don't sell anything. We're not promising anything but opportunity. And what we want guys that's more honed in on the NFL and not just the NIL. But no, I want you to make some money. I want you to be able to fly your family down. I want mom and them to sit in luxury and have a wonderful hotel room and you eat and you fine dine and you doing. I want that. But I don't want to see you lose your focus because you're real comfortable. That's a problem.
The disruption is also there. We spoke about it. Is that transfer portal?
Yeah.
That's as
I love
more.
that portal. That portal's been good to us.
No, the portal's been great.
He got like 25 on
No,
that.
no, the portal's been great, but there are, for me, looking at the portal, instances where, kids get out there, let me test it.
Yeah.
Let me see how I can leverage it so I can get that NIL bag.
Right.
And then that's when it's a big
That's
disruption.
the problem.
And that's a problem.
That's the problem.
You recently in Sports Illustrated was #1 on the list of 20 most influential figures. That's administrators, coaches, the gamut. You were #1 on that list, and that's just a testament to who you are as a man of God, what you believe in, what you stand for. And if I'm a parent and you come in my house and you recruit my son, that's where I'm starting. I'm looking at the body of the person, the transparency, and it's easy for me to send my child, to you because I know what you believe in.
Right.
But there will be a moment where, I think you spoke to your guys before you played in the championship game. They came to see you show up. And with that, they want to see you show out.
That's right.
And we're here in Boulder, and there will come a time where, you elevate, but there will always be moments of adversity.
Right.
And that adversity is the altitude sickness. Do you ever think that there will be a moment that you won't be able to elevate as you visualize?
I never think about failing. I'm not a failure. I've won everywhere I've gone, all the way back from a shorty. I'm a darn winner, man. That's what I do. Not only a winner, my winning is not based on games. My winning is based on life. I want these kids to graduate, to be fine young men, to open doors and yes ma'am and no ma'am and yes sirs, no sirs, to be fathers, not baby daddies.
Right.
To be real men that shows up on time and early, that if they say they're gonna do it, they do it. I want them to raise young women with grace and class and dignity. I want them to graduate. I want them to own things. We teach so much other than just football here. It's unbelievable. That's why I always say, if you send me a boy, I'm gonna send you back a man, and I mean that 100%. Before I came in here, I just challenged several guys about their schoolwork. Because if they show up on red to me, I got a problem. So that means you got a 55 in this. What does that mean? So I'm supposed to trust you out there and I can't trust you in here? No. That coincides with that because 95% of y'all ain't going pro. So my focus is on that 95, not that 5. That 5 got it. That 5 was that.
Right.
You had it. Ain't nobody had to push you to do what you knew what you had to do to make it. Ain't nobody had to push you. All right, because that 5 got it. But that 95, I got to put my foot on their throat. I got to keep my foot on the gas. I got to, because that's what I told Mama and them when they came to sit right in front of me. I told them, I got your baby. Don't worry about that. I got him.
And you spoke about being a winner. We all know you're you're that. And just outside right here, Folsom Field, where you guys will be playing.
Yeah.
How many times have you peeked out these windows?
Peeked? I've been on the field.
No, but
I see.
just staring out.
Oh, my office right there. I get to look out there every day.
So visualizing success and winning and changing this place from the 1-11 team they were a year ago.
They doing a Dougie in the stands. I mean, the band is on one accord. The band got something for you too. Don't sleep on them. Okay, I know they've been clowning, talking about the band ain't gonna be able to get it right. Watch what we do. But not only that, man, I don't dream when I'm asleep. I dream when I'm wide awake. That's the difference. I could see it, I could feel it, I could touch it. And I know I could have it when I see it like that. A lot of folks dream when they sleep. And they wake up and they can't recant that until it happens. That's normally called a déjà vu. I don't do that. I see it, man. I see it, then I make it happen. Right. And I have a staff that's unbelievable. We have kids that we bring in here with like-minded, smart, tough, fast, disciplined, kids with character. So the accumulation of those kids with the work ethic that you all embody, you can't have nothing but success.
Right.
You know, Coach, there are different kinds of whys that players ask coaches. And I think there are two different types, right? There's the coach that doesn't have the respect, the coach that doesn't put the work in, that when he walks into a room and he tells players, this is how it needs to be done in order for us to be successful, they say why? Because they're questioning his acumen, they're questioning his experience. When they ask you why, it's because you have the blueprint. And now you get an opportunity to explain this and to disseminate that information to your players. Coach, there were so many rumors about all of these different places you could have gone. And you said it, you're a winner. You've been winning since forever, whether it was high school, college, even in Atlanta when the team wasn't great, you were winning. 2-time Super Bowl champion. You go to one team, they win it. You go to the other team, they win it. A lot of people said it was you. I said it's you, because you play the most important position on defense. But now you have to make a decision that after whether it was Truth, Jackson State, you've shown that you can change organizations, you can change schools, change universities, and it doesn't take a ton of time.
Right.
What made Colorado the place for that? Because you do have to face the USCs, you're gonna face the Oregons, the people that can offer some of the things that Colorado can't at the time.
Rick George, IAD. He called me. We talked a little bit, kind of feeling each other out like a first round of a boxing match. Then after that, we started getting a little more serious. He would send me pictures of the beautiful stadium, of the fans packed in. Even though with a losing record, the fans packed in. And he would just tell me little intricate things. Then he came down to Jackson and we sat and we talked and we chopped it up. And he was telling me about the program, but I was already 2 steps ahead. I already had a booklet compiled of his program. And I opened that book, I said, this is how we're gonna do it, and this is how we're gonna win expeditiously. And I didn't blink, I didn't flinch. I looked him right in the eye. And the things he said to me in that meeting, and the way he went about it, he was far ahead of anyone else that tried to secure me. And he loved this college, he loved this university, and he wanted to make a promise that he would leave this university whenever he departed a winner. And he said, you are the key for that. And I believed him, and I believed him. You got to understand, coaches don't get official visits.
Right.
We don't get to come here and walk around here and check it out and see, hey man, it's all right. We don't get to do that. We got to be led by faith, and we got to pray. Because it has to be it. Once we say I do, it is what it is. We can't flip it and change it. And I prayed about it, and I felt real good about it. You got to understand, this is when you know it's God. I grew up in Florida and live in Texas. I ain't never been in no cold climates. Fred, you know how we are. I've never played a snow game in the NFL, never, not once.
Wow.
And God, you want me to go there? Hold on. You know who I am? You know darn well if it's 40 in Jackson, we was in the gym. If it rained a little bit, I'm not going outside. That's just how I get down. My team know that. My coaches know that. But you want me to go way out here, Lord? What is this about? It's bigger than the game. It's not just about the game. It's about so much more than that. And I said, I do.
Coach, you mentioned the we. for so many that got to see young prime time that wouldn't take meetings with teams who were picking too far in the draft, and watching you be so stellar as a player, excellent as a commentator, you can take the oxygen out of a room just by walking in it because you command so much space. You have assembled a coaching staff. I've been walking around because so many, the coach that offered me my scholarship to LSU was on this staff. You know, he's your recruiting director, and you know, your defensive coordinator, he comes from Alabama.
Yes.
A sign of a great man is not only the awareness of who he is, it's the awareness of who he isn't. And assembling the right people around you. How does it feel to you, though, that you can go out and get people to come be a part of your staff that so many other organizations, so many other universities covered in that way?
Well, it first starts with a relationship. Then after relationship comes respect. Respect warrants the response, then response warrants the results. And it starts with a relationship with everything. And all these men that we brought in here, I have a tremendous relationship with, or I had someone that had a tremendous relationship with and introduced us. And that regarded respect. Then we start conversating about their philosophies and how they go about doing what they do. And I wanted to make sure their communication skills was up to par, because this is a different kid out there right now. This is not y'all. Y'all ain't sitting out there in those meeting rooms. They're totally different because they were raised totally different. So their thought processes are totally different. But the Bible also says, my rod and the staff, they comfort me. So I know I needed a staff to comfort me. I have a staff with several coaches that were former head coaches, administrators.
Offensive coordinator
that was a head coach that relinquished his head coaching job to come here and do what he's been doing. Our OC from last year, Jackson State, is now the receiver coach. So it wasn't no quarrels. Hey, I'm in, coach, let's go. The recruiting team that comes from major Power 5 that can go out there and get them. And I just need them to get them to me. Once you get them to me, I'm gonna do my thing. So I love the team that we've assembled in the offices up here. Not only just the strength and conditioning guys, the recruiters, the offense, defense, the GAs, everybody has a commitment to excellence. Now, everybody's talking about how you're gonna change the culture. First, you gotta change the people. Some people you gotta get out, they gotta go. Because they're not built like that. They don't understand.
You did that so early though, prime. You came in and you told people you was bringing your luggage.
Disrespectfully, that's disrespectful.
How is disrespectful?
Yeah.
To walk into a team that's sitting in the team room, prime, I'm bringing my luggage.
How did I get
y'all
there?
can leave if
and
y'all want to leave.
And it's Louis too.
And it's Louis.
How do I get here? How did I get here? You know how I got here?
How?
They was 1 and 11. Who respects 1 and 11? I'm not disrespectful to them, but who respects 1 and 11?
Nobody.
That's right. I wasn't being disrespectful. I'm being honest. There's a difference. There's disrespect and there's honest. I'm always honest. If you call it disrespect, you can call it what you want to, but I'll never belittling, downing, ridiculing, or just making someone feel lesser than they are. But I tell the truth. That's what I do. I have no lie in me. I tells the truth.
But how was that response? Because we saw you know how clips go.
Shocked.
We just saw the clip.
Shocked.
But for the next 2 hours, 2 days, what was the response?
He went to the individual rooms too.
You know what they said? He's here. I'm gonna tell you what. I went to individual rooms. See, this stuff you didn't see. I went to an individual room. I'm not gonna say the room. It was a speaker. Dude had his phone on listening to music. Right after you saw that.
Yeah.
So imagine going into positions and a young man has his phone on listening to music. And I said, y'all got to be kidding me. And guess what the response was? Another gentleman said, yeah, coach, usually, during the season, we bring our boombox. I say, sir, if you ever bring a boombox into one of my meetings, that would be the last time you hear that music playing. And I say, I see why. And I walked out and went to the next room. That's what you didn't see.
Yeah.
So you talking about changing the coach, you got to change the mind.
Yeah.
But not only that, you got to change the people because they think like they think for a reason. You know how hard it is to change that mentality into this mentality that we have? We have a commitment to excellence, all of us. Yeah. All of us.
Yeah.
You think I'm going to change that just because I've changed locations?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna change my commitment.
But nothing changed. Because speaking of change, we always get asked as athletes, what's the difference between high school and college? What's the difference between college and the NFL? You as a coach now been through them. You bring up truth.
Yeah.
Now you went to a smaller school. Now you at a Power 5, PWI as people, you know,
Right.
a lot of people call it. What were those changes and how did you have to take a coach? I understand what you're saying, you prime, but
True.
you have to adjust. All good players have to adjust during the game. You had to adjust during this career.
Yes, I have. I've adjusted some things, not most things. I am who I am, and I'm old school, not an old fool. And our old school principles worked. So I'm not changing any of those. But my approach, my understanding of how to communicate with them, everybody communicates through this. So I get them through this. Sometimes you can't get them through this, but you can get them through this because that's where they are. Sometimes you got to go around the corner to get to the point of contact. With us back in the day, we just went straight there. These kids are a little different, and they're all different. I can't put them all in a group and address them all the same at times. Sometimes he's a little different. Okay, he gonna always be from head to toe. The top gonna always coincide with the bottom. Okay, I gotta know that. If I know that, I know how to come at him. I know you. First thing you think is coming. All right, it's a straight fastball. Okay, I got that. Cool. Long as I know how you get down, I know he's a thinker. He's calculating. He gonna sit back. He thinking. He may not say it, but he's thinking it, and he's already moved. He's already playing chess with you. You don't even know it. But see, if I know those things, I know how to address you. And I know how to deal with you, and I know how to coach you, and I know how to lead you. I just got to understand how to meet you, and I'm all about relationships. So with all my young men, as well as coaches, it's a multitude. It's 140 or 50 different relationships that you got to have with people because they're not the same. And I can't expect you to do what I would do because me and you totally different.
Yeah, Channing said disrespectful. I like to think of it as just being a disruptor. You know, I know in reading a few books here and there, disruptors have the ability to break down silos and bring people together for a common purpose. And you know, I've been the guy on this show that give people flowers. You know, but because you know, I admire you to the fullest, and I just love the traction. You know, the things you're doing, everything you're going to change in this place, and I'm rooting for you more than anyone. But just to add to that, just even simple stuff, looking at how the last 7 years here in the spring game that's coming up here shortly, and over the last 7 years, I think the attendance was right at 30,000. But you guys have exceeded that in your first spring game.
And people are paying, though.
And people are paying.
It was free.
And
we're going to sell it out.
Free.
And we got almost a couple months to sell it out. So we're gonna do that.
How does that type of support in a totally different environment from where you just left, how does that type of support like make you feel aside from everything else? How does it really make you feel?
I love it, and we need it. The kids need it more than anything. The coaches need it more than anything, because you got to understand, I'm a little different. I'm in a moment, okay? Every time I talk about this, I almost break down. No one ever came to see me play in high school. My mama was working. She was hustling. My father was doing his thing. He made some gains. My stepfather never came because he was doing his thing. So that allows you to understand prime. So I had to build up this dude inside of me that ain't need nobody. So I ain't need your hand claps. Ain't need your you go boys. Ain't need nothing from you. Because I had to look in that mirror and reconcile with him. Ain't nobody gonna be here. Ain't nobody came to see me play basketball, all state. Ain't nobody see me that come play baseball. Ain't no folks coming to watch you play baseball. And I'm getting drafted by the Kansas City Royals right out of high school. So ain't nobody came to support that cause. So I really don't need that. But some do.
Right.
So I can't put you in the box with me to think you feel like I feel and you could go like I go, because I'm running on a different type of fuel than you are. But my coaches may need it. My kids may need it. My administrators may need it. And I got to understand that they're not me. And that's been the hardest thing, to reconcile that we totally different, man. We move totally different. We think totally different. We are totally different. And I've come to grips with that in who I am. And I'm not all right, but I sure ain't all wrong. I sure ain't all wrong.
Prime, you've had the unique opportunity to coach your sons. And I'm going to say from my point of view, I was obviously on the Under Armour circuit when Shedeur was on. I was like, it's genius because now he's coaching his son. He's at Jackson State. He's going to start right away. You've allowed your son to build into a quarterback that is now Power 5 ready.
Yeah.
Obviously, you had a safety that could ball. I mean, he was at South Carolina, but it's different with the quarterback.
With the quarterback.
You've been able to tutor him. You've been able to allow him to mature. And period, point blank, Prime, y'all make this move together. Shai, Shedeur,
You're a smart man.
Y'all make this move together.
You're a smart man. You're a very smart man.
Right?
Because it wasn't just about me. That's what people don't understand.
I knew that.
It's about putting my kids in the right situation for them to be successful as well. Not only my kids that are my blood, I brought several people from Jackson with me. It's 2 girls down there that are in our training room, that 2 of our young African-American trainers that would have never gotten this opportunity. And I love them to life. Their whole life has changed with just the opportunity. My head trainer, which is a Caucasian woman that came from Jackson, she's here. My guy who did audio and video that was with me at the age of 17 at Florida State, he's here. It's several different people. My high school teammate that played with me when he was a freshman, started on varsity, Jamie Chaney, and went to Florida State and played as a freshman at Florida State. Jamie Chaney was a high school coach at Lehigh Acres in Fort Myers, Florida. He's here. So it's a multitude of people that you ain't even meandered through the halls to see that has opportunity that would have never gotten. And I'm thankful for it.
So I heard you had a secret weapon, though. It's all over the social media. It's all posted, right?
Yeah.
Junior is the secret weapon. Everybody knows they got the videos. So you got a son playing safety, a son playing quarterback. You got the secret weapon in recruiting. And you yourself, you mentioned like nobody came to see you play high school ball. Well, Prime, you've had a number of superstars already show up here at Colorado. That type of family atmosphere you've built. Why is that so important to you to keep your people close?
Man, I'm family. My mother, my stepfather, as well as my biological father that was always around, we've always been there, but not like the television shows that I love. You know, I grew up on Sanford Son, man. You got to understand the relationship Fred and Lamont had meant something to me. I grew up on the Jeffersons. He moved on up. I ain't seen nobody hating when he moved on up to a deluxe apartment in the sky. I ain't seen nobody hating, and he moved on up. So if he moved on up, that means he moved out or somewhere else where he was once residing. Okay, Good Times. They had the audacity to name a show Good Times, and I never seen a time that was good. It was almost when they got their opportunity, it was snatched away. But guess what? The family unity was still intact. And those shows meant something to me. That relationship with Fred and Lamont on Sanford Son, they were George, Weezy, and his sons and all, and Lamont and all, not Lamont, what's the son name on the Jefferson?
I cannot remember. I know he married
Lionel. It was 2 Lionels. I'm with the first Lionel. Okay, but that stuff meant something to me. So that's the era I grew up in, man. So I've always wanted to keep my family close, my kids close. My daughter's playing basketball, and you talking about smiling. She comes to my office every day and lay down, take a nap. Then we go eat lunch every day together. I absolutely love it. Junior is doing his thing in the social media. He is eating it alive. They wrote a wonderful article about him in the USA Today, which I was so ecstatic because he's not found himself, but he's in his zone. He's in his zone, and I love it. But I'm a family guy, and I love it to have my family around me.
Speaking of family, how do you fight nepotism? For people saying Shedeur doing this because his daddy, Shai doing this because his daddy's the coach.
They better watch the film.
Yeah.
They better watch film. First of all, I'm tougher on my kids than anybody. You want me to give you an example that you probably didn't know about?
What's that?
I had a rule, you probably seen it on video, that if you're late, you ain't playing. Now you gotta understand, if my meetings start at 7 o'clock, they better have butts and seats by 6:45. I'm probably gonna start by 6:53, 6:55, okay? consistently.
All right, Tom Coughlin.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm trying to prepare them for life. Yeah. I'm not trying to prepare them for this. I'm trying to prepare them for life. My son came after the break that we left, getting back ready to play the championship game. Came at 6:55. The whole team was seated, already in place, and he walks in. I said, "Get out." He didn't play in the championship game because my rules are my rules. And I can't change it just because you my son and you have my blood. My rules are my rules. He understood. He didn't like it, but it is what it is. He came and played back in the Celebration Bowl, but that SWAC championship, he didn't play because he was late.
One quickly about that championship, because you had a lot of criticism for when you announced the move.
When else you gonna announce the move?
After the game. Like, that was the thing. Why would you do that to them boys out of there, knowing you leaving, now they got to go play a championship?
I'm honest with my team. That's number one.
Yeah.
I have obligations to these guys. They had to announce. You got signing day coming up. I forgot the dates because I'm so locked into this and I forgot all this stuff. But we did things orderly and structurally. One thing about my team, everybody said, "Why you do that to them boys?" I showed the video. I let everybody get theirs off. Me and my son let everybody just talk junk and hate and do all that. But guess what? Boom, 3 days later, boom, here go the video of that moment. There wasn't nobody mad.
Yeah.
Wasn't nobody upset. Wasn't nobody crying. They was crying of just thankfulness and gratitude about what we experienced together. So I showed the whole country what it really was.
Yeah.
Only people who was acting ignorant and outside was the people that was outside the locker room, not the people inside. Yeah. And where's my thought process in my heart? It's
in
on
that
the
locker
inside.
Family.
It's on the inside. That's right. So, but it was very strategic. We let them get all the hate out. Then we hit them with the video. Son, play that today.
Yeah.
We holler. Honestly, we holler. We scream. Didn't we, son? We scream. Yeah, we holler.
It's chess, like you said. It was chess.
Yeah. But we wanted them to understand, you're wrong. You're wrong. Don't use a child to display your anger, your bitter, and your hatred. Because if you hate me over progressing, that means you hated me before. You just love the way I made you feel and the stimulation that I gave you from winning and successful. Because whenever we got to play somebody that wasn't a rivalry, I'd never seen you there. There wasn't no sellouts then. There wasn't no packed house then. I don't even think the championship game was packed. I don't even think it sold out.
Prime, this doesn't just show up in this form. It doesn't just show up. You've had some amazing coaches in your NFL tenure. You speak about your stepfather. You speak about your mom. How did we actually, arrive to all of this? Because you've been through, you've been through
I've been through
stuff.
it. I've been through a lot of stuff. But the key word has been through it.
Yeah, been through it. Right, and still projecting.
Yeah.
Your greatest influence, whether it be a coach, family, wrapped all up in this right here. What's been your greatest influence on it?
The greatest influence on me?
Yes.
You mean a person?
The greatest influence.
My mama. Because she's always been resilient. She's always worked her butt off and sacrificed so that we would have. My mama never cared about a Louis, a Gucci, a Fendi, or none of that. Never asked me for none of that bull junk. I gave her several diamond rings. I don't even think she wear them. I don't even think she got them. Mink coats and everything. My mama ain't even into that. My mama never asked me for a first-class flight, but she got there. My mama wanted me to save my laundry at Florida State so she could wash it every 2 weeks that it was the home game. And she made it, 6-hour drive. She made it from Fort Myers, Florida for the home games. Although she never watched me at high school because she worked Monday through Friday.
Right.
But she made it to the games on Saturday, way 6 hours away. So the parent, the love, the respect, the admiration, just her heart is everything. And she's raised several foster kids. We have 2 now, the twins. We don't even call them foster kids. They like our babies. They're 17. They're almost about to graduate high school. So that's where that part comes from, the love for people and the just gravitating towards others and desiring to do for others when they can't do for themselves.
You mentioned how close your boys are with you. Your daughter comes to the office and sleeps. I can just imagine how full that makes you. But they also have mothers who are involved in their lives. And showing them how to co-parent and love your children outside of yourself.
Right.
Put your individual stuff aside and be that type of parent, be that type of father, that type of mother. What has that relationship meant to you in the way that you've raised beautiful children that now have that closeness with you?
I love it. I mean, I don't even have the vocabulary to explain how much I love it when I see one of my kids doing something that is just out of the norm. You know, when I see Shador, Shiloh different now. We all pray for Shiloh. Okay, that's my one.
Shiloh, he modeling now, right?
Yeah.
He's doing his thing.
Yeah, Shiloh ain't trying to be no mom. Shiloh trying to be seen. But Shiloh has that attitude that I adore when he steps out there on that grass, man. All of them are different. They have different parts of me in my life. You know, they have so many different parts of me, and it's funny to me. You know, because I can see some pictures of Shador. He got his hair braided and twisted right now. He looked like a 95 Prime did. You know, he looked like 95 Prime when I had the braids and all that. So it's so many different attributes. Bucky, I mean, the way he looking right now with his hat off and his hair nice. I told him my hair used to be like that once upon a time, real fine and Indian-ish.
I thought that was a Jerry curl.
No, that was me.
That was all you?
That was all me. No, it wasn't all me, but I stimulated the look.
He said he ain't never had a lie.
You don't wake up with that much moisture.
But what I always say, it looked wet, but it was dry.
Prime, you know, a lot of people got to see it from the outside, and in sacrificing things for Jackson State to elevate to where it was, part of that was your health.
Yeah.
When you see the fastest man I've ever seen with the football, fighting through these things, riding in carts, a noticeable limp, and you're still coaching your team, putting them in a situation to where you leave with a higher winning percentage than Eddie Robinson, the great Eddie Robinson. Where is your health now as you embark on this new journey? Because you got to take care of self too,
True.
Prime.
It's a challenge. It's a daily challenge. It's a new normal. It'll never be the same. My dream is to one day run. I want to run again because I used to love to run. I used to always say, mile a day, keep the fat away. And I used to try to run a mile a day. Now I'm into biking because that's the only way I can get my cardio because I can't stand still or get on a treadmill or elliptical too long because I got to go. I got to move. But it's a new normal. It's not easy when you understand that you was built for speed and you was built for certain things and you can't do that no more. You have no idea how much that hurt. And you got to understand, when I talk, I see things. I can see the scenes when I talk. That's the gift that God gave me. I can see everything when I'm talking. And to look back and to be in that hospital for darn near a month and couldn't move. And then when I got out, they had to carry me into the car, carry me in the house. They had to build ramps up my house and in the bathroom. I had to have rails on my bathroom. Somebody had to take me in the bathroom, bring me out of the bathroom, put me in the bed, get me out of the bed. Do you understand, for a guy that prided himself on being in shape and being dominant at every darn thing, for someone to carry you, man? Woo, help me, Lord. You have no idea, like mentally, what I went through that season. Then my son, Shiloh, came quite a bit, but Shador was there about every day. And I could see every game Shador ever played in his life, Shiloh as well, but he went to South Carolina for a year. Mm-hmm. I coached him. I had never been away from him, coaching him, being on the sideline. So I'm watching the games and I'm seeing 74% completion percentage, 72. 70, 68. And he said, Dad, I need you. He said, Dad, I need you. I need you back. I said, okay, I'll be there. And I reconciled in my mind right there, I'm going to the game at Southern. And regardless how it looked, I'm in a big old wheelchair, man. You know, remote control, and it was about 40 degrees out there. And I probably had lost 30, 40 pounds. And that was tough. But he said he needed me. And Any parent out there, if your child say, I need you, you're gonna break your neck to be there. Forget my health. I had to be there. And when you know it, we were down in the fourth quarter, and he marched us down the field, threw the game-winning touchdown, and I look at the scoreboard, and it had 21 up there. Then I look back, they're driving down, they throw a deep ball, Shallow picks it off. So it's 21, 2, and 21. I just said, Lord, I thank you. Because it was just something I had to see. I had to be there to witness that moment. And that moment meant everything to me. That was a moment that, forget Super Bowl, World Series, forget anything. That moment right there.
Something interesting that you just said, needing people.
Yeah.
You actually needed somebody to help you. You played a position, and how you played, you were butt naked.
Yeah,
I played with Sam Madison.
Right.
He used to tell me 10 on 10.
Right.
It's me and him. Y'all don't even worry about
That's
me
right.
over here. So
That's
the way
right.
you played, the success must be the money, Deion.
Right.
That guy out there.
That Shannon.
Did this injury change you and all, or help you out? Because now you need somebody. And I'll say, I don't know the last time you really needed another human being.
That, you have no idea how helpless and hopeless that I felt, man. Dog, you know how hard that was for me, man? I remember going back because my team didn't know. Nobody knew. Y'all didn't know that I was going through blood clots and I had this amputated. Nobody, I'm not gonna say nobody really cared because y'all did, but fans didn't care. They just cared about the results on the scoreboard. But to understand all this was going on, and that was the toughest thing that ever happened because it wasn't just the blood clots, it was that, okay, we're gonna have to take the whole leg from me down because I won't get no blood. Okay, he's fighting for his life right now. And it was that tight up in there, where tight, like touch and go. I had 9 surgeries, man, in less than a month. And then it was like, okay, we got it down to, we're gonna have to take a couple of toes. I said, I don't care if you take the whole foot, man. Just, I need my life. I need to be there for my kids. Shoot. My lady was there. I mean, daily, friends and family members were there. It was tough. Toughest thing I ever dealt with in my life because I had no control. And we love control. We love control. That's why I don't think I ever smoked a drink because I like control of me. And I had no control. So I was just in there praying. That's why you can't tell me nothing about God, what God ain't gonna do, what God can't do, and what God ain't tell me to do. Because I know those nights, those long nights, and during a month in there every night with not even understand, okay, where are we going now? Oh, you got another surgery, Mr. Sanders. Cool. I forgot, what was my alias, Sam? What was my alias in the hospital?
Rich Black.
No, it wasn't Rich Black. I'm usually Rich Black Man in restaurants. It was another name in the hospital. But it was tough.
Yeah.
Why
It was tough to-
why Lou Young always hold his leg like that?
I was gonna say, Lou, you know don't do that. Lou came in and showed his natural butt the other day. Yeah, his natural butt. Lou is hilarious. I didn't know Lou played.
Yeah.
Lou played for Coach Kelly. Yeah, in college, man, at Georgia Tech.
You talking about his staff. David Kelly offered me a scholarship to Stanford in 2002.
David Kelly was at Stanford?
Yep.
You got to be, I ain't know David. David Kelly been everywhere.
He was at Stanford.
You know, we got Charles
Scholarship.
Kelly and David Kelly.
Yes.
Charles Kelly was at Alabama last year. That's our DC.
Yes.
And we got Dennis Thurman still.
Yep.
So
I saw
we got
DT
a
earlier.
heck of a staff. Yeah.
I saw DT earlier.
Yeah, but you got to be kidding me.
Yep. I saw him in the hallway. Didn't even know he was here. Saw him in the hallway.
That's
He
my
was
man.
like, what's up, bro?
That's
I ain't
my
seen
man.
you. I was 18. I'm 40 now.
He could go get it too. He knows his stuff.
He had me thinking about going to Stanford, knowing good and well I was going to flunk
We
out.
we met in Atlanta. He was a high school coach. I was playing for the Falcons. They won state. And I went to one of their games, and they brought the whole team on the sideline for the game, and I went over and gave them love. That's how far we go back.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he was in Atlanta, coaching
You
high
know what
school.
he doing now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coach, they sometimes separate you from coaches because of everything you've accomplished as a man, as a player, but you're still an African-American coach in a profession that doesn't always respect the leadership qualities, the capacity to delegate, the ability to see the game both mentally and emotionally. do you ever feel some sort of, I don't want to use the word burden, but that you do have a responsibility?
Responsibility is well stated.
Yeah, to continue this.
I do, because we can't keep crying about the dynamics in the NFL and we're not winning. See, the thing about it, we always talk about where they ain't, this brother ain't you gotta win. He got fired because he lost. Okay, we gotta win. So there's a tremendous responsibility to win and to be professional with it and to be classy with it and do it unapologetically your way by engulfing all those attributes. But the main thing, we gotta win, man. So winning and continuing that graduation rate and making sure they're pillars of the community and making sure we're raising men and not boys, that gives other men an opportunity. Mm-hmm. Because when they see stability and attractability from what you've done, now they're saying, you know what, let's get at a shot because that worked over here. We could just find, he may not be all of that, but he's most of that or some of that. Let's give that guy an opportunity right there. And that's the challenge. I believe that's the calling, just to show it's another way, because we don't have to be all suited and bow tied up, you know, even though you're so clean, you're dirty. You know, every day.
You text me every now and then.
No, that boy be so clean. I get mad at the TV. That boy be so clean. He changes it up so much. But we got to win, man. Yeah. Now, if we're winning and we don't get the same opportunity, there's a problem. But we got to win.
Is that part of how you were able to handle the situation with Eddie Robinson Jr. so well? Because that was a situation where the entire world is watching two extremely influential African-American coaches.
It was ignorant. The whole thing was ignorant. And you got to understand, man, I'm going to bring the fun out of it regardless. It was a very volatile situation. It could have went left, but I tried my best to bring the humor out of it and to keep it right. One thing that I would never do, publicly or privately, I'm not finna talk about no brother or nobody. White, black, Hispanic, I don't do that. I don't do that. God has blessed me too much to be down in you to make myself feel better. I don't do that whatsoever. So I take offense to that, but I'm never gonna do that even when I played the game. All the talk that y'all thought I did, you'll never find a receiver that I talked to. You'll never find a man that I talked down upon. You'll never find a quote that I downed another person in my life. Never did that. Now, I talked about me. I talked about, hey, I'm the best things in peanut butter and jelly. You better get this right. You know, I talked about me, but I've never talked about another person, and I never will. I'm not built like that. So that was a bad situation, but we had a lot of fun with it. Like, Bucky, drop this right now.
I want to read one of your tweets that went out. What's your heart saying? What's your circumstances saying? What's the people saying? None of these will ever line up, so make certain you know your priorities. Examine the main thing and keep the main thing until that other thing show itself.
Like, when I get up in the morning, I had got to work because I got up a little late this morning. I wanted to sleep in a little bit. Getting up a little late to me is like 6, okay? So first thing comes to my mind when I'm sitting in my chair, that's what I write. And then I put it out. And I've been doing this for over 20 years, Monday through Friday. I'm off on weekends, but Monday through Friday, that's what I do. And that just was a thought that came to me. And I can't even remember all of it, but I remember the thought process is nothing ever in life lines up and agree with one another. Your heart could say this, then your mind could say this, then the friends could say this. They're never gonna be in agreement. But how does that coincide with what you feel and what you think and what you know is right? And you gotta keep the main thing. Sometimes we get on a tangent and go to the other thing and forget about the main thing.
Which leads me to, you know, what Junior's been doing with the social media, the content, and it looks amazing. Like, you know, we can aspire to say, damn, this looks easy. Yeah. Like, I want to be like Coach Prime. Yeah. What's the toughest part about the transition in this job? What's the toughest thing you have to deal with?
The consistency, getting people to be consistent in what they do. Everybody can have a good game on Sunday, but the only reason you had that good game you don't realize was Monday through Saturday.
Yeah.
So I'm at a certain pace and a certain thought process at a certain level that I'm moving at 100 miles an hour, and I need everybody to get on that same pace, because if not, we're gonna have a problem.
Right.
We're gonna have a real problem.
You leave Jackson State.
Okay.
You're in Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay.
Now you're in Boulder, Colorado.
Yes.
You left an all-black team or predominantly black team.
No, we led HBCUs in Caucasian men.
Yes, no doubt.
Okay. What was that, 4?
No, dog. First of all, half the staff was mixed. Okay.
Yeah.
We had white, black, Hispanic as well as the football team. We probably had to have. We were up in the teens. Yeah, we were up in the teens.
But what's the difference here? Because everybody saw you talking about the police. You stopped and talked to the police. But just overall.
See, the thing about it, when I say stuff like that, I'm just being genuine. I'm not talking about anything I say. People think I'm talking about yesterday. They don't understand. Ain't built like that. I'm here. Yeah, I'm really talking about. Really, it was 3 weeks before I saw a darn police.
Yeah.
And the police chief came to visit me the other day. She said, I heard what you said. She said, I heard what you said.
80 more people on patrol?
Yeah. So I absolutely love it, but I was just making fun of everything. Just like when we go to restaurants, they ain't no grits. We made fun of that. They ain't no grit, but it's grits on every menu around here now.
Yeah.
And we absolutely love it. So a lot of things we do is to bring light on the community and just to have fun, man. We just try to have fun doing what we're doing every day.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
Less distractions for the young men, more distractions for the young men. You know what I'm saying.
These guys are real comfortable around here right now. Have you walked around here?
The campus is beautiful.
Oh my God, yes. Have you walked around this facility?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Everything's beautiful.
Yes.
I'm for. I've been married 15 years.
Did you look at those windows? To see those mountains?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, everything is beautiful, right?
I get what you're throwing,
Everything
bro.
is beautiful.
Yeah.
How do you keep it fun and keep it light when everything it seems that you say, people pick apart? When you were talking about recruiting and saying, this is the type of offensive players I want to recruit.
Did I lie?
But
isn't that what we do?
I wholeheartedly agreed with you.
Isn't that what's done?
Yes.
So when we go on an interview in life, what are they doing on any interview?
They interviewing you. They looking for what they want.
Yes, right. So I'm doing the same thing. And I know what I want. I know what works. I know the history of the NFL and what it works. If you do a study of the Hall of Famers, Pro Bowlers, all pros, you'll say, he got a point there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. He kind of understands what this really is. Nobody just says it. I'm ignorant came to my mind. I'm not. I was gonna say I'm ignorant enough, but I'm not ignorant by any means. But I'm just bold enough to say it. Just say what I think. And I'm not downing anyone. Shoot, my mama was a single mother for a period of time. I love my single mothers. I love my single fathers. I've been a single father for quite some time. It's funny that people come at you and you forgot my son was in the same situation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I've been in his life. So I challenge fathers to be in their life. When we was with Truth, we challenged fathers to come to the game. I say, Mama, I know y'all might not be talking, but you could clap and scream all you want. All Daddy has to do is say, and that kid gets it. And he is happy as I don't know what. So invite him to the game. Let him see his son. And that's what we do as well. I want to know the father. I want to know the family. I want to know, because now I can understand what's going on with you. I had a mama sit over there. I said, she said, what you need, Coach Prime? She said, I need a dog. She said, my baby's a dog on and off the field, baby. I said, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Mama, and they committed.
I've been defending you on this, on the topic of recruiting, who you recruited, this and that. And I keep telling people, everybody use the word dog. I need some dogs. Mm-hmm. I need some dogs. And I ask them, how are dogs created?
You tell me.
That was my answer for you talking about that kid that's grinding. That kid that's grinding and all. In my mind, that's the dog. When you go through some stuff, that's what builds a dog. I'm just saying, you went real deep into details, but everybody talks about the dog, Prime, but nobody wants to say how a dog is trained.
But you could be a dog with two parents. You could be a dog with a single parent. Right. You could be a dog with just a single father, not just a single mother. You could be a dog with all different circumstances. That's just on you to what you choose to be. And I found them everywhere. But the thing about it, now, if you say, I got one shot at this thing, what you want, I'm gonna say, give me that. Mm-hmm. I take him, but give me that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not gonna turn that away, not whatsoever, but I know what I want. But when I go to the restaurant, they give me a menu, you order what you want, right? Right.
How do you stay competitive in recruiting in Florida, a state with dogs all over the place?
Man, I'm trying to get at least 20 of my Florida boys.
But somebody like me who came up in Belgrade, close to Fort Myers, I ain't coming to this cold.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. I'm thinking twice about it.
First of all, we're going to establish that relationship. We're going to establish that relationship over the phone, over the gram, over the FaceTime. And if I get you out here, it's a wrap.
Right.
Let's see, when I get you out here and you mess around, don't see, and I give you the statistics, when mama got to understand there's virtually no crime, daddy got to understand it's probably 97, 98% graduation rate, and then we start to understand that we understand the process to get you to the next level, which is the NFL. But you're going to have your degree, you're going to be smart, intelligent, and plus you're going to get a little something to make sure you're happy, you know, and ends going to meet. Ends going to meet. And then when you see all this, and understand what we're building, and you got a chance to rewrite history and do something that hadn't been done, that's gonna entice you. I'm not gonna sell you nothing. I'm just gonna show you opportunity, and you're gonna get in where you fit in.
I was reading recently the last 10 first-team All-American quarterbacks. 2 of them were from single-parent homes. That was Deshaun and Lamar. The last 10 league MVPs, 1 Lamar was from a single-parent home. Patrick Mahomes was from a divorce.
But the father's always been in his life.
Yes, absolutely.
The father's always been in his life. Okay, I know a lot of my guys, I'm not gonna call their names, that they were dogs on defensive line. I met the mamas. I've never met the fathers. I want to, but I don't know if they played that role. That's probably what made them wanna go out there and get it for mama. But it's some dogs in there with a mother and a father that I sat around right on that couch that are dogs, defensive linemen that got dual parents, and I loved it. 100%. I'm not coaching against that, but I know history and what it says statistically.
Every great empire has normally had a great leader. All the empires that have fallen had a great leader who thought he could do it by himself. You've shown us that with all that you've accomplished individually, you realize the village is most important in raising the baby.
Most definitely.
You've had your Coach Prime docu-series at Jackson State. Can we expect to see the same thing now here in Colorado?
Already done. The ink is already on the contract, dry. Yes, you're going to see it. And it's going to be enhanced strategically. Not only that, we're doing some things on YouTube as well that Junior is going to run to give you a better look at what all we do. Because there's so much footage that hits the ground floor that you never get to see, and we want you to see everything, but not just the football side of it. We want you to see the kids in the classroom. We want you to see how the university is run and the commitment to excellence. So we're trying to show you everything. And one thing that I've learned, especially when I was down, when I had a guy like Coach Flea, he ran that thing with consistency and a love and a passion that was undeniable. And that made me think, thank God you got the right men. Because had I not had the right men and missed 4 games, you know, going through what I went through, all hell would have broke loose. Didn't suffer a loss. Because he rock steady. He was rock steady, and I love him to life because one day I feel like he's gonna be a head coach again.
What did you learn most through your health issue?
That God had me. I never doubted, never thought for a second that I was gonna leave, that I knew God had me. And I just needed to understand what you're trying to do right now, God, so we could expedite this process. I knew he had me, never doubted. I learned most that my faith was where I thought my faith was.
We talked a couple years ago. I questioned you about staying at Jackson.
Right.
And you left.
Okay.
Now I got to ask you, because you talked about
what was the question? How did you phrase the question, though?
Who's that? I just flat out said you ain't going to be there that long.
You can't just sit up there and say, yeah, and you left. You know what I'm saying? Now, that was a build-up. That was the question.
I said, the labor's one thing. I saw that baby come out. And you sitting here in gold and black.
But she came.
But
she
yeah,
she came.
But you talk about your players, you're preparing 5% of them for the league. You're a great head coach. I would say it at the levels you've been at.
Thank you.
Sooner or later, a team is going to ask you to run a big
Why are you doing this again, dog?
Huh?
Why are you doing this again?
That's who he is.
Because I got dog. That's who you are.
I got to go.
Let me nasty.
I lied it up this time.
I got to turn with you.
Coach Prime. You cross that leg still?
I ain't going nowhere. All right? I ain't going nowhere.
Coach Prime wins 8 national championships. He takes over Saban and all them boys. And you done
I
did
win
it
8 national championships. I'm probably going home and going fishing.
You old as hell, didn't you?
What's that?
I'm probably going home and going fishing.
You don't want that challenge because you love challenges.
Yes. Yeah, but it sooner or later comes to a point where man says, you know what? You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away,
Know when to run.
and know when to run. What's the next line?
You never count your money while sitting at the table.
What was that line? You got what? We should be straight, all right?
Hey, Coach, this was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
That's a great landing.
I will see you, Colorado, Arizona State. I'll invite the boys up. My son plays at Arizona State.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, that'd be a good time.
We know. But let me tell you something, man. I appreciate y'all for the platform. And I was trying to tell Shador, I didn't have to convince him, but I was trying to tell him the level of this platform and the impact that you all have. For you guys landing on your feet and doing the doggone thing, the consistency that y'all bring. You don't understand the impact that y'all have because I watch you all the time.
Thank you, Coach.
And I appreciate the relationship that y'all have and the trust that y'all have because this ain't easy. You know, it's 3 different personalities, 3 different schedules, 3 different families, 3 different things, but to all do this collectively because you have one goal in mind, I love it. And we can work together.
Yes, sir.
And make things work.
Absolutely.
And I love that, man.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Bring Coach Prime.
Oh my goodness.
I know he was going to say it. You gonna leave again?
He wasn't going to let you get through it.
Oh boy.
He wasn't going to let you get through it,
Think we
Coach.
don't get along.
Yes, sir.
Have you seen this place?
They're going to be waiting on that question the whole time. You already know that.
Come here, let me see. Let me see y'all why I'm so darn comfortable.
Hold up, limitless. Niggas to me, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Get my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, get me up. On the mission, get me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless. Niggas to me, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Get my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, get me up. On the